Hello aspirants, you're hearing to the aspirant voice. In this video, we're going to discuss about the current affairs from the date 19/1/2022. This is my initiative, the MainsMap. I'm providing the content in such a way that it will be very helpful for your mains examination, and you can download my notes from UPSC Live. The link will be given in description to join my current affairs classroom. Without any ado, let's start the today's topics. So the first topic will be the Houthi drone attack. This is important because it happened in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi, we know it is very richest. Richest of the richest people will be staying there due to oil mining and all. So let's understand about Abu Dhabi. Many of the Indians, let me tell you, many Indians will go to this city, or you can say to the Middle East countries like UAE. Many Indians visit these regions because for the skilled work. So they really do go there, and that one is very important in the Indian perspective, because Indian diaspora is located in this region with a very high number. So let's go to the topic and understand in deep about it. What is this drone attack and why drone attack? Two Indians were also murdered in a suspected drone assault in Abu Dhabi, in the capital of the United Arab Emirates. Since nearly 7 years, the Shia-led Houthi rebels from Yemen have been in control of Yemen's north, including its capital city Sana'a. In the face of such heinous atrocities, India has expressed its support for the United Arab Emirates and support United Arab Emirates. The Houthis launched a ballistic missile at Riyadh, Saudi Arabia capital earlier in 2021. So let's look into this map. The Saudi insurgency is Southeast insurgencies happened here. You can observe in this map, there is a Shia majority area, that is orange region, and red color region is Houthi controlled area that since 26 March 2015. Now from the northern Yemen, the attack has been happened. Northern Yemen is under Shia control, and Shia rebels are there. They attacked with the drones. It is suspected in that way. Let's understand who are these Houthis. In the early 1990s, Hussein al-Houthi and his father Badr al-Din al-Houthi created Believing Youth. That is a Jaidi revivalist organization. So in northern Yemen, Badr al-Din was a prominent Jaidi cleric, and Hezbollah's 1980s growth in southern Lebanon was spurred by the Iranian Revolution and Hezbollah's ascent among Yemen's Jaidis, who make up nearly a third of that country's Sunni majority population. So Ali Abdullah Saleh's administration in Yemen became a thorn in Saleh's side, and when the movement turned political and started denouncing Saleh's corrupt regime and his backing for the US war on terror. Then the members of Ansar Allah, partisans of God, organized tribesmen in the north to fight back against the government. And Saleh issued an arrest warrant on the Hussein al-Houthi in 2004 when he was president, and he started an uprising when he resisted from being arrested. So the Saleh issued, Hussein was slain by government troops in the September 2004 and when they launched an assault on the insurgents and a series of military operations against the Jaidi stronghold of Sada, known locally as the Houthis movement in honor of its martyred commander, have been initiated by the government since then. As a result of ceasefire was reached in 2010, the Houthis gained momentum. And took seized Sada's government forces. So this is how it seized again. But in the whole concept, let's remember about Jaidis. Let's understand who are basically these Jaidis were. The Jaidis are the Shia's oldest branch. Shias, Sunnis, and Jaidis all regard to Zaid bin Ali, the Prophet Muhammad's cousins and son-in-law, as the ancestor of the Jaidis. In the 8th century, Zaid bin Ali launched an uprising against the Umayyad Caliphate. And Zaidi sect was born because of his death, and yet he was martyred in the process. While the Zaidis are considered Shia Muslims, they are distinct from the 12 Shias of Iran, Iraq, and Lebanon in their theology and practice. Zaidis have dominated Yemeni society for centuries, and the Jaidis was established a monarchy, the Mutawakilite kingdom in the country after the fall of the Ottoman Empire in 1918. But in 1962, Egypt-backed Republicans ousted the monarchy under the dynasty region in this country. Now let's understand what is the reason after 2010 how Houthis has been raised. How they rose again. When the Arab Spring uprooted tyrants in Tunisia and Egypt in 2011, the Houthis, buoyed by their military triumphs and backing they had in Sada, and lent their support to the protesters in Yemen. Former President Salah A. Jaidi left office in November 2011 and was succeeded by Abdrabu Mansur Hadi, a Sunni backed by Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia and UAE supervised a national conversation in Yemen in order to resolve internal conflicts. Then Houthis were brought into the conversation, but they argued that the suggested federal solution, which sought to participation of Jaidi dominated north into two landlocked provinces, was an attempt to weaken the movement by dividing the region into two separate provinces. These Houthis have argued, and they quickly resumed their insurgent activity. It was Saleh's old force who teamed up with the interim administration to start a unified military campaign. After that, Houthi Saleh coalition took over most of the northern Yemen in January 2015, including the strategically important Red Coast. Sanas fell to the group and Houthis later turned on Saleh and killing him in December of 2020 or 21, I guess. So now let's understand why Saudi Arabia attacked on Yemen. Saudi Arabia was alarmed by the quick rise of Houthi militias in Yemen, which it viewed as an Iranian proxy. And Saudi Arabia launched a military assault against the Houthis in March 2015. However, despite Saudi Arabia's aerial blitzkrieg, the Houthis remained entrenched. Since there was no reliable partner and no exit strategy to speak of, the Saudi-led campaign carried on indefinitely. In revenge for Saudi airstrike, the Houthis have conducted a series of attacks from northern Yemen on Saudi cities over the last 6 years. After a claim by the Houthi rebels of a half-hour outage of half of Saudi Arabia's oil output in 2019, Experts and countries rejected the rebels' claims, saying the strike was too sophisticated for them to carry off. For the US, Iran is to blame. In the north, the Houthis have set up a government. Both Saudis and Houthis have been accused of heinous crimes during this conflict. And the rights groups and countries accuse the Houthis of delaying aid from reaching civilians, placing their forces in densely populated regions, and employing excessive force against non-violent protesters, while Saudi bombings killed a huge number of civilians. Now, reason for Houthis attacking on UAE. The Houthis have attacked the United Arab Emirates before, and the Houthis claimed assaults on the Emirates in 2018 as the UAE backed forces advanced in Yemen. A faction of Yemen rebels stationed in Aden and the Southern Transitional Council has received tactical help from the United Arab Emirates after the UAE pulled its troops out of Yemen and supported the Saudi backed government forces of the UAE. At this time, the Houthis' only emphasis was on Saudi Arabia and the forces were supported by the kingdom. Even though the Houthi rebels have long been supported by Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, in recent months of militia group made up of southern Yemenis and a military unit led by Saleh's nephew have taken aim at the Houthis. This appears to be the clear message. This appears to be the clear message to the Emiratis, that is to stay out of Yemen or face additional strikes from the Houthi movement. Now let's understand the concerns. Uh, a channel that links the Red Sea with the Gulf of Aden, through which much of the world's oil export travel, makes Yemen strategically very vital. As the country becomes more unstable, the danger of strikes by Al Qaeda or ISIS affiliates emerging from it is also a concern for the West. In spite of increased US efforts to de escalate the 6 year conflict and remove the Houthis from the list of terrorists across border, raids by the rebels on the kingdom have continued unabated. A regional power struggle between Iran's Shiite government and Saudi Arabia's Sunni government is also considered as a factor in the conflict. Now let's discuss the India's interest in this issue. I mean, in this region. For India, it is a challenge which cannot be washed away, taking into consideration the oil security and 8 million expats living in the region. Expats in the sense Indian diaspora that are living over there. A region with more than USD $80 billion income remittance annually is generating in from this region to the India. Now let's see some Indian initiatives for this. India launched a massive uh, Operation Rahat, which is a massive air and sea operation to evacuate over 4,000 Indian nationals from Yemen in April 2015. And the humanitarian assistance has been given that many Yemeni citizens have sought medical care in India during the past few years as a result of India's historical aid to Yemen. And also, a substantial number of Yemeni nationals are also still being educated in Indian universities. So, this is all about Houthi drone attack and the important areas that you have to cover from this topic. This is aspirant voice. So here I have made this mind map. and you have to make your own notes using this mind map so that however you are supposed to remember the topic simply. Now let's go to the second topic. The second topic for today is World Economic Forum's Davos agenda. Let's understand the context is recently the Prime Minister addressed this World Economic Forum Davos agenda via video conferencing, and the World Economic Forum in sorry annual meeting in Davos in Davos, Switzerland engages the world's top leaders to shape global, regional, and industrial agendas. Now let's see the key aspect, that is One Earth, One Health. Many lives were saved by Indian export of life-saving medicines and vaccination throughout the course of COVID-19. And up till the end of December 2021, India had shipped 1,154.173 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccination to 97 nations, and Indian pharmaceutical production is the third largest in the world and is referred to as a pharmacy to the world. So technically this is the pro-planet approach that was discussed in the global meeting. So here they proposed P3, that is pro-planet people. This movement as a way to reaffirm India's climate change commitments from UNFCCC COP26. India has reiterated that clean, green, sustainable and reliable energy goals include achieving net zero carbon emissions level by 2070 at the earliest. And also the lifestyle for environment provided by Indian PM at UNFCCC COP26 conference might be a strong foundation for this pro-planet people approach. And also to deal with the climate change other unanticipated issues of the future, life envisions a robust and sustainable lifestyle. So consumerism and disposable culture have exacerbated the climate crisis. Now let's discuss the reforms that are undertaken by India recently. The goal is to generate $80 billion through asset monetization by investing $1.3 trillion in connectivity related infrastructure in 6 lakh villages in India. This is a reform took by India. And also, in order to revitalize the seamless exchange of commodities, people and services, the Ghati Shakti National Master Plan aims to unite all stakeholders on a single platform. At this point, India boasts the world's biggest and most secure e-wallet system. Like India has many e-wallets, e-wallet system, and UPI handled 4.4 billion transactions in India by the end of December 2021. And also finally the Arogya Setu app for monitoring corona infections and COVID portal for vaccination are examples of the technological solutions that India has offered. Now, what are the key points for the investors to see India as a destination? It is important. So the next, India as an investment destination. The retrospective taxation has been abolished, a compliance requirement have been reduced, and the corporate tax rate structure has been simplified, making it today's greatest investment destination. Here I want to add a point. There are also some rumors, I guess I have learned in some news article, that from this budget, from this budget, it is rumored that India is going to adapt expenditure tax. Previously it was, currently it was income tax. So India want to shift from income tax to expenditure tax. It's a very interesting topic. If you are interested, please let me know in the comments. I will try to make a complete video on this issue. Though we don't know whether in the budget it will be India is going to adapt this system or not. But as this was in the news, it may be important, but it depends on your interest. If anybody interested, please comment me. I will try to make the content and video about this particular topic. Now, so India as an sorry. So India is an investment destination, and more than 25,000 compliances have been eliminated in India in the last year alone. Today, India is home to the world's third highest population of unicorns, and the registration of more than 10,000 new business has taken place in the last 6 months. The ease of doing business is being promoted in India by reducing government interference, and also currently the policymakers are considering the long-term requirements for both clean and green growth and sustainable and reliable development over the next quarter of a century. But here we have to discuss one more thing, that challenges before multilateral organizations. At the time these organizations were established, the situations were very different than it is today. The situation is different now. So, since these institutions must be able to deal with the issues of the present and the future, it is incumbent upon every democratic society to prioritize reforms in this area. Now, let's discuss about World Economic Forum as the part of this topic. Okay. Before that, let's discuss the collective efforts for challenges ahead. That every country and every global agency must take part in coordinated response to this crisis, and these include supply chain issues, inflation, and climate change. Another example is the virtual currency known as Bitcoin. A single country's action and the technologies it uses will not be adequate to meet the difficulties it faces. Now let's discuss about the World Economic Forum as an organization. So here the World Economic Forum is a Swiss non-profit foundation established in 1971 based in Geneva, Switzerland. And it is recognized by the Swiss authorities as the International Institution for Public-Private Corporations. So here their mission is committed to improving the state of the world by engaging business, political, academic, and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, industry agendas. And the founder and executive chairman of this organization is Klaus Schwab. Some of the major reports that are being published by this World Economic Forum are Energy Transition Index, Global Competitiveness Report, Global IT Report, and in the Global IT Report, World Economic Forum along with INSEAD and Cornell University publishes this report. So not only World Economic Forum. Then a Global Gender Gap Report, Global Risk Report, and Global Travel and Tourism Report. So these are the reports that are being be published by the World Economic Forum. So this is all about the topic, and I hope you do like this video. Do like this topic. The another topic will be explained by me. That is another topic will be explained here. That is Indonesia relocating its capital. So this is a mind map, and I always say download this one from my UPSC Live Classroom and download the material from UPSC Live Classroom and make the notes on your own. I have mentioned everything here in this format, and I want you people to make your own notes in a way that you understand very easily once having it on a simple glance on the map. So please try to make the notes in such a way. Now we are going to discuss about the third topic, that is Indonesia relocating its capital. So here they are relocating their capital city. So in the context, here as of late, Indonesia's parliament has given its approval to relocate Jakarta to jungle-clad Borneo Island, 2,000 kilometers away, where the capital will be renamed as Nusantara. So Joko Widodo, Indonesia's president, hinted at the plan back in April 2019. citing rising sea levels and lack of space on densely populated Java islands as reasons for the movement of this capital city. Jakarta is located on the island of Java's and northwest coast, and also the Java, Kalimantan, Sulawesi are Indonesia's largest islands, whereas the Indonesian portion of New Guinea is smaller, known as Papua or Irian Jaya. So this is the map. You can see the Jakarta. You can point the Jakarta and you can point the Borneo, where the capital city is going to shift. Now, let's understand the reason for relocation. The experts anticipate that as much as third of Jakarta might be submerged by 2050 due to the rising sea levels caused by climate change in the city's infrastructure. And more than 30 million people live in Jakarta's metropolitan area. So, furthermore, because Jakarta is the country's administrative, governmental, financial, and commercial hub, the city has been plagued by unrelenting building, preventing water from penetrating the earth and resulting in greater runoff. Since Indonesia gained independence in 1949, Jakarta has served as the country's capital due to its ever increasing population. The city has been polluted in recent years. Another major cause for moving the capital from island to Borneo Island was the rise in financial and economic disparities. Although East Kalimantan, which covers 1,27,346.92 square kilometers, is larger than Jakarta, it is significantly less inhabited than the existing capital, and which is spread across 61.5 square kilometers of land. Now let's understand the relocation site. About 56, so these are the facts which are not very much important for UPSC exam, but you have to understand about 56,180 hectares of land in East Kalimantan province, which Indonesia shares with Malaysia and Brunei, would be used for the new capital Nusantara. Environmentalists, on the other hand, are alarmed that the capital's transfer will have a negative impact on the region's ecology, where mining and palm oil plantation already threaten the rainforests that are home to many Borneo endangered species. So, here you have to understand one thing, that Indonesia is not only the first country in the region to relocate from an overpopulated capital. Malaysia. So, 1 minute. Yes. Even Malaysia has been changed its capital city. So, in the year 2003, Malaysia moved its capital from Putrajaya to Kuala Lumpur, and also Myanmar in the year 2006 shifted its capital from Rangoon to Naypyidaw. So, in this way, the capital changing is very common, and whenever it is needed, that should capital change should be done. So the relocation of the site has been doing. Now let's understand the issue here, that is sea level rise. So the sea level rise is an increase in the level of the world's ocean due to the effects of the climate change, especially global warming induced by the three primary factors. So the first primary factor is thermal expansion. Thermal expansion means then water heats up, it expands. About half of the sea level rise over the past 25 years is attributable to warmer oceans simply occupying more space. And the second one is second primary factor is melting of glaciers. So higher temperatures caused by the global warming have led to greater than average summer melting of large ice formations like mountain glaciers, as well as diminished snowfall due to the late winters and earlier springs. That creates an imbalance between uh, runoff and ocean evaporation, causing sea levels to rise. And so now the third factor is loss of Greenland and Antarctica ice sheets. As with mountain glaciers, increased heat is causing the massive ice sheet that cover Greenland and Antarctica to melt more quickly and also move more quickly to the sea, due to which the water level will rise. Now let's understand the rate of sea level rise. For the most part, sea level is determined via tide stations and satellite laser altimeters, and it has tripled during the 1901 to 1971, according to the IPCC uh, 2021 report. This is the lowest Arctic Sea ice cover in the 1,000 years. Now let's understand the consequence of SLR. First one, the coastal flooding. Globally, 8 of the world's 10 largest cities are near a coast which is threatened by coastal flooding. And also, the second important thing is destruction of the coastal biodiversity. The sea level rise can cause destructive erosion, wetland flooding, aquifer and agricultural soil contamination with salt, and lost habitat for biodiversity. And also dangerous storms are being raised. You can see in recent time India also being affected with the storms, cyclones and so on. Higher sea levels are coinciding with more dangerous hurricanes and typhoons, leading to loss of life and property. And next one, the lateral and inland migration. Flooding in low-lying coastal areas is forcing people to migrate to the higher ground, causing a displacement and disposition on, in turn, a refugee crisis worldwide. And also it impacts the infrastructure. The prospect of higher coastal water levels threatens basic services such as internet access, and threat to inland life. Rising sea can contaminate soil and groundwater with salt, threatening life farther away from coasts. Finally, the tourism military preparedness. So, tourism to coastal areas and military preparedness will also be negatively affected by the increase in SLR. So you can understand that tourists come to the coastal areas to enjoy the sea, but the water level rises and military, I mean, rises. So the tourism infrastructure can get affected, and military for the security purposes has made their camps near to the sea. But these camps are needed to be relocated regularly as the sea level rises. So that will be an issue. Now let's understand the steps taken to tackle the sea level rise. First one, the relocation. Many coastal cities have planned to adopt relocation as a mitigation strategy. For example, Kiribati Island has planned to shift to Fiji, and while the capital of Indonesia is being relocated to Borneo from Jakarta. And also building the seawalls. Indonesia's government launched a coastal development project called Giant Seawall or Giant Garuda in 2014, meant to protect the city from floods. And also the building enclosures. Researchers have proposed Northern European enclosure dam enclosing all of the North Sea to protect 15 northern European countries from rising seas. The Persian Gulf, the Mediterranean Sea, the Baltic Sea, Irish Sea, Red Sea were also identified as areas that could benefit from similar mega enclosures. And also the architecture to steer flow of water, that is Dutch city Rotterdam built barriers, drainage and innovative architectural features such as a water square with temporary ponds. So this is all about the topic. Uh, let's understand the India's case. First one, the vulnerability is there. That is, India's 7,516 kilometer long coastline includes 5,422 kilometers of a coastline on the mainland and 2,094 kilometers on the islands belonging to 9 states and 4 union territories. The coastline accounts for 90% of the country's trade, and it spans 3,331 coastal villages and 1,382 islands for India. So that is the vulnerability in India's case. And the initiatives that are taken by India is coastal regulation zones are being established, and national action plan on climate change has been taken. So that is all about this concept. I hope you do like this video. This is the mind map that is needed for you to understand, and I hope you will take good benefit of it. It will be in my UPSC classroom. You can download it from there. The link will be given in the description. And please follow regularly for these current affairs. It takes lots of effort, so please like, share, and also subscribe to your friends. Thank you.